So, welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue triangle inequalities, part 2. And the next thing is saying, everybody thinks if I take 3 sticks, that I can automatically make a triangle. That is not always the case, right? So what happens here is we say the triangle inequality theorem states the sum of two sides must always be greater than the third side. Okay, and it has to happen for all of them. Okay, so when we look at the example below, no matter what, when we go to figure this out, we know 3 plus 7, when I add those together, has to be greater than the third side. Well, it's 10 greater than 8, that checks. Again, if I take 3 and 8, when I add them together, they must be greater than 7, right? Is 11 greater than 7? Yes. We know that's okay. Then we have to take 7 and 8, right? And that must be greater than 3, and 15 is greater than 3, so that checks out. So these 3 side lengths would make a triangle. Okay, now, next, if I look at the next one, if I take 3 and 6 and I add it together, it must be greater than 10. Is 3 plus 6 greater than 10? No. Therefore, if you were to take 3 sticks that are 3 centimeters long, 6 centimeters long, and 10 centimeters long, there's absolutely no way that you would be able to show or create a triangle out of those 3 sticks. Okay? So keep in mind. And basically, in theory, all you really have to do is check the 2 smallest sides must have a sum that is greater than the largest side. So really, if anything's not going to work, it's going to be the 2 smallest sides don't add up and end up being greater than the third side. So now this next one. You know a triangle has side lengths of 8 and 10. What are the possible lengths for the third side? Well, right now, if we don't know the third side, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it x. Then, I'm going to have a second side of 8, and then 10. So, when we look at this, right, I go ahead and I say these are my 3 side lengths. I'm going to set up my 3 inequalities. I know when I add 2 sides up, it must be greater than the third. So x plus 8 must be greater than 10. X plus 10 must be greater than 8. And then 8 plus 10 must be greater than x. All right, and I'm actually going to rewrite this as x must be less than 8 plus 10. I go ahead and solve these, right? This would give me x is greater than 2. This would give me x is greater than negative 2. And this would give me x is less than 18. Well, out of the 3 inequalities I have here, right, which one doesn't make sense? This middle one, right? Because you're never going to have a side length that's going to be negative. So if we take these 2 inequalities and write a compound, we know x must be greater than 2, and x is representing the third side. X must be greater than 2, but less than 18. So any stick, right, between the lengths of 2 and 18, right, would create a triangle with other sticks that are 8 centimeters and 10 centimeters long. Okay, so 3 would work, 4 would work, 5, blah, 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 all the way up to 17. Those lengths of a segment would work for this triangle. Now, what I basically say is x is always going to be greater than the big side minus the small side, but less than, right, the big plus the small. So if you look here, we took the big and subtracted the small. So we would say x is greater than 10 minus 8, but less than 10 plus 8. So if we simplify, we get x is greater than 2 and less than 18. Now, the last example here, again, it goes back to similar to the word problem earlier. List the sides in order from least to greatest. Well, first I have to find x by adding these all up. So 2x plus x plus x, 4x. 3 minus 1 is 2, plus 6 is plus 8. When I add all three of these up, it's going to add up to 180. So 4x equals 172. Now, x is going to be 43, right? And let me double check my math. 172 divided by 4, 43. And now I got to plug it in. This angle would be 42. This angle would be 49. This angle would be, what is it, 86 plus 3, 91. So once I have all of this, now I can go ahead and determine which side is the long. So the smallest side is going to be M2. The middle side would be MP. And the largest side would be PQ. Hopefully this all makes sense. We'll see you in class on Friday. Thank you.